number of factors that went into the choice of New Zealand, and particularly Wellington, to the making of Ghost in the Shell. First of all, the presence of WETA Workshop. They have brought an incredible world together for us.
It's been a very collaborative process with the art department, the props department, costuming, makeup, where everyone has done our bits to bring everything together.
WETA Workshop, who have created the shelling sequence for us where the Major's character comes to life.
Vitaly Bulgarov designed a full skeleton. WETA then laser cut every piece of it.
There ended up being about 1,400 individual pieces, and they all need to mesh together and fit together perfectly.
So everything you see of the skeleton in the shelling sequence is the real skeleton. We did a full body cast of Scarlet. It's exciting for me to make a version that echoed the original and felt like it was actually happening.
We saved you, and now you save others.
A suit is the thickening of the existing understructure.
When we see a Major go thermoptic, what is she wearing? What does she come back to? That's something that Rupert and WETA spent months designing.
The look of going invisible is a tricky thing to try and imagine. We always knew that the visual effects department would have their work cut out for them, but at least we could give them a head start with a suit that looked almost otherworldly all by itself.
We were 5 minutes down the road from WETA Workshop. In fact, that we could keep examining things and working to make them so unique. That was a giant boon to the production.
From the cybernetic enhancements to the robotics to the set decoration, WETA Workshop, that's an asset that's unique in the world. There were a number of factors that went into the choice of New Zealand, and particularly Wellington, to the making of Ghost in the Shell. First of all, the phenomenal crew here. I can't emphasize that enough. They're really a very versatile, talented, gung-ho, spirited group of filmmakers.
In a movie this size, where everybody has to be in constant communication, working together, planning sequences, the look of the movie, costume, production design, prosthetics, visual effects, it was all here in New Zealand. We've been shooting here in Wellington. We've been on stage at Stone Street Studios, where Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh made many of their movies. Today's the first time that we're outside in Wellington. What we've loved is being able to create a very urban setting with our CG enhancements, set dressing that actually looks like our futuristic Asian city.
We're very excited to be working with WETA Workshop, the animatronics, prosthetics, makeup, prop, set decorating facility that is. We're very lucky to be right down the road from them. It's really been one of the great assets of this movie.
That was the nice thing about coming down here, is the movie has a handcrafted feel, and we needed a lot of really seasoned craftsmen to pull it off, and we found them here.
I'm going in.
The studios, the stages, and the environment. The city is very supportive of this industry, and we are delighted to work here.
Our needs from New Zealand are really different than a lot of the things people associate with New Zealand, a country landscape or mountains. For Ghost in the Shell, we needed an urban environment. We needed a futuristic setting. As we started weighing all those factors, really Wellington became the place to do it.
All right, shooting now.
Lock it up, guys. Here I am in Wellington, and I feel like I'm in Hong Kong.
And let's turn over.
For the futuristic kind of Hong Kong-looking city we wanted to make, we were really able to take the existing architecture and geometry of the city we're in and then really build from it. The best way to make a heavy VFX movie look real is to mix and match real with all sorts of different other VFX techniques. So there's gonna be a lot of real in these shots. And the most challenging scene was a pretty big action sequence shootout on a street.
If you're here, the muzzle flashes this side of the frame.
What you need is real estate. You gotta lock down a lot of city blocks, so you have the room to create the scope and to have like the cargo fast enough. Any big city, it's always a challenge because there's people living there, living their lives, and it impacts people. With Victoria Street, Wellington, we got this giant lockdown that allowed us to make a really big action scene that we never would have tried to even achieve in Hong Kong. We're really trying to do something ambitious, and we would have never been able to do it without the cooperation of the city and the businesses and the people here in Wellington to help us get there.
So what do you think of the live-action version of Ghost in the Shell? Now, the title was first published back in 1989 by one of the largest Japanese publishing companies, Kodansha, and it has since generated 3 anime movies, an anime TV series, and 3 video games. Attempts to get a live-action Ghost in the Shell film off the ground have been going on for years, ever since DreamWorks and Steven Spielberg acquired the rights back in 2008. In that time, multiple producers, writers, and even actors have come and gone, with the studio struggling to properly greenlight the picture, probably not helped by the not-so-good track record for live-action anime adaptations. Do you think Scarlett Johansson was the right choice for the role? There's certainly been some heated debate on this topic. Margot Robbie was firstly considered for the lead role, however negotiations broke down and the role was offered to Johansson. And it does seem that the character was tailor-made for Johansson, from her voice acting role in Her to her butt-kicking heroines. It seems like all her steps have been leading up to this. The great thing about Ghost in the Shell is that, like many adaptations, it already has a built-in audience with the right mix of elements, mainly action, sci-fi and sex appeal, to also bring in fresh viewers. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think the movie will be a success? Leave your comments below and remember to keep it tuned to FilmIsNow for all the latest movie trailers.